Good afternoon, everybody. Chuck here in ThatPhanom, here at our house, my in-laws' house, my Thai family style home in ThatPhanom, Thailand. I just got back from a bicycle trip playing golf with my friends. I know I told you guys I was going to bring you along. I didn't. I just didn't feel like doing it. First off, it was kind of overcast and raining a little bit. Not during the golf game, but on the bike trip. So I didn't video. I just didn't feel like it. Like I was just enjoying the moment. We've been really busy with some subscribers. I met a few of them yesterday playing golf, and I want to say enjoying our time home. I'm also fixing broken things while I'm here. Mafia, say hello.
Hello.
Pookie in there, say hello. Paige is hot and heavy planning our next destination, which I'll briefly talk to you guys about in just a moment. I need to wash my truck. Where's my damn shoes at? I know I own a pair of sandals somewhere. Here they are. You happy? Okay. But I've got to I want to talk to you guys while I'm doing stuff, last minute stuff. I got to change those too. I keep forgetting about them. Let me bring them out like in the middle of the floor or something so I can. My mother-in-law's like, when are you going to hang up my things you bought me? So I'm going to put them right there, okay? So I need to wash the truck. Anyway, I want to talk to you guys, and I promised I would talk to you about my feelings about living in Thailand, why I'm still here. Do I love it? Do I not like it? What is the deal after 6 years? What have I learned? Not all of that stuff, but just briefly. I feel free in Thailand, like really free. Like the meaning is that, like, there's a lot of that's expected of you in modern day civilization. I almost died. What I mean is, like, we're expected to have a good career. We're expected to be responsible. We're expected to act a certain way, dress a certain way, speak a certain way. We're expected to, I don't know, a lot. I could ramble on probably for hours. Obviously, you guys know me by now. I can. Basically, nobody expects me to do that here. And I'm out here talking in the middle of the porch. Nobody knows what I'm saying other than Paige. And nobody gives a crap. If I do this probably somewhere in the West, they'll be looking at me like, what is this guy doing? Why is he doing that? It always seems to go negative. Not always, but I think we just like to think the worst about everything when it comes to the West. Like, that's the go-to. Like, whatever the situation is, it's a negative thought. I still kind of catch myself doing the same thing. But luckily, I got Paige to correct me a lot of times. She doesn't really get on to me, but she's like, why? You know, she'll say something, and for example, why I said what I said. You know, it doesn't make sense. But basically, that's it. We can travel fairly inexpensive in Thailand, just about anywhere, and the cost of travel is tiny. Like, you don't need to have an extremely large bank account to retire in Asia. Of course, it all depends on your needs, your lifestyle. You know, what kind of funds do you need? But it's like, I would say, a quarter of what it costs to live in the West. With this lifestyle, you don't need much money to retire in Thailand. everything just kind of makes sense price-wise, economically, stuff like that. The food's good, the people are good. Another thing that I really like about it is everybody just kind of minds their own business here. You could pretty much do anything here as a foreigner as long as you're not affecting somebody else in a negative way. You can pretty much get away with it. And you know, in the comment section and the emails and my communication with people, a lot of times they want to talk about rules and regulations and how things should be and what they expect of me still. That's my only link that I have with my past life, you know, is that I'm always being told what to do, what's right and wrong, what are the regulations, you know, stuff like that. But in a reality, the real world that I live in here, nobody really cares, you know. I mean, as long as you're not hurting somebody. I ran a red light the other day, accidentally. I got a ticket in the mail. I had some emails about my driving habits. It was a $15 ticket. I paid it. It's like I've got to explain my situation. Like I ran through a red light and dodged a bunch of kids crossing a crosswalk and an old lady in a wheelchair and cars. You know, it was nobody in the intersection. That's kind of why I wasn't paying attention, because it's like out in the middle of nowhere. But they did have a camera. Just little things like that, I think that I feel free to be away from that myself. So I only share my experience here in Thailand, and that's about it. But don't use my scenarios on the basis of that's what's going to happen to you, because a lot of things happen in Thailand based on your attitude and your persona, right? So if you are the type of person where you're going to make things difficult and whatever logistical transaction that you're doing, you're going to get a different situation than me. Also, it just depends on a lot of things that don't make sense. But I think another thing is we always try to make sense about everything. We're always overthinking, analyzing, and it makes things very difficult in here on this side of the planet, because it just doesn't make sense a lot of times, and we drive ourselves crazy trying to figure out why, instead of just living by the moment. They say that time goes by fast when you retire, but I've said this for years, it really hasn't for me. You know, if you can just stop trying to figure out how to live for the future, health-wise and financially. Now, let me back up on the financial part. We all have to make sacrifices in our life to get to a point in our life where we can be independently sustainable. We have to have an ultimate goal in our life. Create a plan, create a path to get there, and make some sacrifices, make some corrections as we go, and just try to move forward as much as you can and get to that point. I think anything can be done. A lot of people say, well, we can't live like you, Chuck. We don't have money. Like, I'm not a rich person. Most of my life I was broke, working on vehicles. I was raising 3 kids. I don't care how much money you have. If you got 3 kids, you're broke. We make a lot of sacrifices in our life, and it comes to a point where, okay, I've got to make a correction. If I'm going to continue to work all of my life, I'm just going to continue on this path. I don't want to, so I got to figure something out. So aggressively try to figure out something that you're talented in your life, or find something that you can do remotely if you want to live overseas. Something that a kind of career that you can do that will allow you to have some kind of freedom. I don't know, figure it out. We all don't have enough time in our life to waste just saying, well, screw it. This is what was handed to me. This is what was dealt to me, and I just got to deal with it. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Figure it out, make a change. Not to go on this subject, but a lot of people live their lives based on what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? And then they don't do shit. And then they get to a point where they complain about people that are doing stuff, because there's a little bit of, I think, animosity, a little bit of jealousy. And, you know, I think people like to see people fail. They like negativity because it makes their current situation feel a little bit better. Well, I'm at least better off than that guy, you know. That's a fact. I mean, that's why the whole damn TV, news, everything is all negative shit, because that's what people want to see. Really, it is true. Anyway, avoid that. I can easily avoid that here in Thailand. I don't hang out in places where there's a lot of negative people. I just don't enjoy it. I don't like it. I'm kind of a semi-introvert. Like, I'd rather be by myself sometimes. And, you know, I have some really good friends, but they're not like calling me up all the time. Hey, Chuck, how come you haven't called me lately? You know, what's wrong? What's going on? I don't need that in my life. You know, I don't have that with my relationship with my wife, my family. I just, you know, I like my alone me time, and I can have that here. But I did make some sacrifices, a lot of sacrifices in my life to get to where I'm at today. And, anybody can do it. You don't have to deal with what's the hand that's been dealt with you. Make a damn change. Play a different game. Figure out a different tune. Just, you can't make excuses. Whatever you do in life, it only affects you. That's it, period. So I don't care how old you are, what you've done. You know, if you've only done the bare minimum of your life and this is what your retirement is, well, try to figure something else out that you can do with whatever skills that you have. I don't know. I don't want to keep going on about it, but I don't know what to tell you. You got to have some drive and make some sacrifices to get to where maybe you're not worried too much about what everybody else is doing in their life. You're just happy. You don't care. I love it here. We're going to... I rambled on a lot about that. But this whole thing for me, No Time to Be Sad, is just to try to get people to realize that life is very, very short. I've tried to show this in every one of my videos for the last 6 years, is what I've been trying to tell everybody. And I think everybody pretty much gets that. So that's what it's all about for me, is to share that experience with everybody. I'm bored here. Like I love it here in this house, but I get irritated easily about certain things that I want to go my way. Like, for example, this door is old and decrepit, and my father-in-law's got a bad back. It's very inexpensive to get another door. It's like 20,000 baht, I think, to take all this down and get a new electric door, a lightweight door. But a lot of the mentality in Thailand is basically don't mess with it unless it's not usable anymore, until it's totally broken. Because I think there's a lot of people that can do handyman stuff here, but there's just no need for them. Like, people don't go out of their way to seek somebody to repair stuff. They only have somebody to replace things. That becomes irritated from somebody who fixes things most of his life. So little things like that irritate me. I want to change this because it's ugly, and my father-in-law is worried about everybody slipping, which obviously that would be the case, but they have beautiful tile that's more non-slip than this, you know. And I want to close this in and put some glass here and maybe some screen doors to get air going through here, so we don't have to live like we're camping. Like, I can't even make a video upstairs without getting eaten up by mosquitoes. You know, it's ridiculous. So this is Paige's house. It's my in-laws' house. It's not mine, but everybody knows that we're going to be here forever, and we want to make some renovations. But it's hard. My mother-in-law would want to do it tomorrow, but my father-in-law's the type where he's like, don't mess with it until it's broken. So anyway, we spend most of our time on a road, not because I'm irritated, it's because we love to travel, and I got the means to take, when things start to get like, okay, I need a break, then we just pick up and we go. Everybody's happy here. I'm happy living here, or I would not. Me and Paige wouldn't live here for 1 second if it were unhappy. But I don't want to. We don't want to take on the responsibility of renting somewhere year to year because we travel too much. It doesn't make sense for us. So, you know, and the whole thing about traveling outside of the country has been kind of a burden for us. But just for, you know, I'm only talking about me right now. It's been a burden because I want to travel and see the world. Running out of time, you know. I want to live the next. I was trying, and I don't think I'll live. If I live to 100, I probably won't be doing shit till after 80. So I don't know what the quality of my life would be after 80. But I was like, man, I'd love to retire around 40, which I retired at 46, and spend the next half of my life doing only what I want to do. And that's what I'm doing. And will it last? I don't know. In my beginning videos, I told you my worst case scenario was I have to go back and get a job, you know? That would be my worst case scenario. I have to start over and do something different. I'm gonna wash my truck. Let me look at this. This whole thing right here is a mess. And I'm a little OCD, have been most of my life. I told my father-in-law, I'll build some racks. Well, he's got a winch system here. We'll put engines on the side. I'll replace the door. We could pull all of our vehicles in here. Let's make it nice. I'll do it. He goes, no, but he'd rather have everything on the floor because that's the way he's always done things, and it's his deal. It's not mine. And I was just trying to help make things more organized, but anyway, this is where he stores a lot of this stuff because he can't leave it at the shop because sometimes things come up missing, if you know what I mean. I never ride that scooter. You guys know about my scooter. I bought that from Mafia about 5 years ago, and she's never rode it. That's the thing. I thought that she had an old one that was a piece of junk, and I was worried about her getting an accident. So I bought her that. But she really didn't want it. And she really didn't know how to tell me no. And I regret buying it. I would have bought something bigger for me. But I never use the damn thing anyway. It's best for me. I only ride it around town, and it's really best for me to walk. I got that. That's a pretty good item right here. And my truck is filthy. It's been raining all day, but it's supposed to stop. Tomorrow, we're leaving in the morning. I'm not going to tell you guys where we're going yet. We've got a few things planned, a few places to go, just me and Paige. And we're going to have fun. Let me wash the car real quick. Oh, wait, I said car. SUV. That's another thing. People get so irritated about not saying something correctly. My wording is not proper. People get really annoyed about it. Man, it must be a really bad situation where you're at if things like that bother you. That's what I love about Thailand. A lot of the things in Thai are named on the way that they sound. They're just basic stuff, you know? Like, if you say, hey, what kind of bird is that? Oh, that's a brown bird. What kind of dog is that? Oh, that's a soy dog. It's brown, black, whatever. They don't, I'm sure they have precise names on that, but they don't worry themselves about what everybody else says. Or I love it here. It's very free. Look at this crazy contraption right here. Pretty crafty. I've seen these before. They're almost like homemade. He's got a shop down the street here. works on all kinds of stuff and buys parts from my mother-in-law. Okay, Luca. I'm pretty sure that guy ain't worried about shit. Yay, I have good water pressure today. Sometimes there's not even enough water pressure to get enough water into that. Every time I love I love you guys, trust me, I do. And I love the back and forth in the comment section. I really do. But every time I mention something, I always get an opinion, a suggestion on a better way, as if I wouldn't have figured that out after this long. Hey Chuck, instead of hooking your hose up out here, why don't you hook it up to the pump? Or they'll say, hey, you can buy a pump and get pressure through the house. If it wasn't for a pump, we wouldn't have any water upstairs. But we have one way in the back. And actually, let me show it to you. We have, because water pressure sucks sometimes, we never notice it, or even if it stops working, because we have this gigantic, I know it's dark back here, this gigantic tank. And that's the pump. But I've thought about actually, and I probably will eventually run a hose all the way up through here. When I remodel this place, which will happen eventually, I will for sure, but put a hose outside here so we always have pressure. But not, I don't know what to do. I don't want to take the water from the, I don't know yet. See, I'm overthinking it. But eventually I will. But this is a stupid design here. This is how you got to put hoses on in Thailand. It's dumb. But things are never going to be what you're used to. You got a kink somewhere, an air pocket. Take a bath. I'll tell you one good thing about YouTube is you can make, I'm like a magician, and you can make people that are just not benefiting your life disappear. For example, like I've actually had people tell me that they were going to report me to immigration without a work permit for washing my vehicle or doing something to my vehicle. This is how much people overthink so much about shit. Like really they're going to come out here and say something to me because of that, even if they could read their stupid email, if they were able to even send information to immigration. Those are the kind of people that are just worthless to me in my life. But that's just something simple, but they do that all the time about stupid crap, worrying about stupid, idiotic, stupid stuff. Like for me, I'm happy in my life. Like I don't care what anybody else is doing. I have no interest in worrying about stuff like that because I'm happy in my life. If they were so better off, then they wouldn't be worried about what anybody else is doing. So you have to realize that about people, because when you're ultimately happy, you don't really care. And ultimately, that's what Thai people are. They're happy because they really don't care what you're doing or thinking. Most of them, unless you're an a-hole. I haven't washed my car in so long, I forgot I have this tool, which was pretty good. My father-in-law gave it to me. It works great. Normally, I just take it down the road for like $8 and they'll wash underneath it, inside and out, for $8. But I don't know, I just feel like doing it right now. I think the only drama I have in my life, and really the entertainment maybe, is outside of traveling, is this YouTube channel. I think a lot of times when I share comments or talk about comments or reply to comments, it's not really meaningful to some. But you know, the difference with me is I'm not really doing this to make money. Like, this is not something where I feel like I have to try to appease everybody. And a lot of times when I reply to a comment, people go, well, you didn't, I see you got offended, or whatever little quirky little try to be clever comment in response. I don't think they want to reply. Like, they want to just say, like, oh my God, you actually are sensitive because you don't agree with what I think about you. It's weird. But I don't do this for the money. Like, I don't really need to try to appease anybody on a YouTube channel. So that's why sometimes I just say what I want to say and show what I want to show, because I don't care. If you want to watch somebody else, then just watch somebody else. I mean, maybe my content isn't beneficial to you. Well, imagine that, huh? But I'm not going to make corrections to try to appease. I'm retired. I can do whatever the hell I want. That's the reason why people retire, is so that they can try to do things what's meaningful in their life. And that's what I'm trying to show. I'm not trying to dress appropriately. I'm not trying to speak appropriately. I don't care. I learned all of that from Paige.
Yeah, look at my flowers. So
See?
beautiful. Yeah.
If Paige was like me, we'd probably kill each other in about 2 weeks. Got a lot of flowers coming. That's actually 3 different rose bushes in there. Paige has all of the hotels booked. I didn't tell anybody where we're going. We've been swamped with like, I love to meet people and talk to people. Paige doesn't really care, could care less. But we've had some come by the house while I was gone, and I understand, I really do, that there's a connection between me and you. Like, you know everything about me. Like, we're like friends, or we could be brothers or relatives. I don't know you, unfortunately, and it's difficult to relate the same. So a lot of people come way out of their way to come visit us, and I'm not here, or I don't respond to their email, or I have a lot of messages coming through a lot. It's difficult sometimes. And then somebody will say something, I'm like, okay, well, I'll try, or I'll let you know. And then it gets lost in 100 different, like, I don't even remember where we communicated from anymore. So it becomes like, almost like a job, a little bit. So, but I'm not saying don't come by and visit me, but I'm just saying sometimes I've got other things to do, and don't get offended if I'm not here, or I don't reply to you, or I've kind of forgot you in the shuffle. It's difficult to keep up with thousands of friends. I didn't really do this to socialize with people. I really didn't. It wasn't my goal. It wasn't my intention. And but it happens. Those almost look real.
It's real.
I do occasionally ask you guys to subscribe, because I do lose quite a bit, which makes sense with my attitude sometimes. But it's not that I'm trying to have the successful YouTube channel. It's just I want to spread my message to those people that are irritated the most. I want to spread my message to the system, which demands so much of your time and your life. I want to spread the message of stop worrying about shit that's not important or doesn't mean anything or benefits you in your life. That's why I ask you to subscribe, so the channel could be maybe promoted more and people can see it and stop, maybe stop and smell the roses. That being said, subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. If you'd like to continue to see more of these videos, just hit that button down there on the bottom. Thanks. I don't know, I just washed drying my truck off. I got these little, like, what the hell is biting me? Little tiny ass ants. I guess they like the moisture or something. Shit. Oh well. This has been a really good truck, and I recommend an SUV because of the weather here, the terrain. Regular pickup trucks are okay, but it rains a lot in Thailand certain times of the year. So with this, I mean, I can't haul, well, I wouldn't want to haul like concrete for whatever reason. I'd want to do that, but yeah, I can put a lot of shit back here. I'm not worried about getting stolen. Like, that shit doesn't happen that much here. I don't know, a lot of people are so worried about their things. For me, I'm at the point in my life I don't give a shit. If you really want it that bad, then go for it. You know, I have insurance or whatever. I don't really care. I'm getting some ants or something all over that. But I could put a lot of shit back here. I recommend it. It's been a good vehicle. Yeah. Also, it's good to do this because the rubber dry. That was the only thing wrong with my other tires. I had plenty of tread, but they dry rotted. So gotta keep this conditioner on there on the outside where the sun hits it. Normally when you get your car washed, you get this done by the car wash place as part of the $8 or whatever your local place charges. I know somebody will say, Chuck, I get mine washed for $5. Awesome. Make a video on it. See how many people agree with your $5. Calgum, are you ghetto now? Now you've resorted to hand-me-down shirts? Huh? You gotta buy you some more clothes. It'll be hot soon, don't worry.
It'll be hot soon. I saw one in the 20 baht store. It's
What?
35 baht. The shirt.
For a shirt?
It's a Christmas one though. In the building. แรกๆเราถอดกันบ่เอาอันใหญ่บ่นึกว่าซื้อโตถอดกันบ่ถอดกันใหญ่กว่าใหญ่กว่าตัวนี้น้อยซื้ออันใหญ่ซื้อถอด
Okay, now I have to change the filters. We change these periodically. But we change these once, they're only required once a year. I shouldn't say, I don't know. Paige puts it down there, she just says change them. This is what we use for pretty much cooking. You don't have to if you're boiling water, but actually Mafia likes to put that in there and put it in the refrigerator and drink it, but it's pretty safe. And she orders all this on the internet. I don't know, how much are the filter kits, babe, you know? How much was all that?
About 700.
700 baht. And when do you got to change these? Once a year, every 6 months, or what?
I change it every 6 months.
Every 6 months? No. This one gets changed probably once a month. When I was putting this thing together, I didn't have something to shut this off here, so I put that on there. And yeah, it's been there ever since we put it together. But if you guys email me, my email address is The Rigger. It has nothing to do with fishing or anything. When I worked at the dealerships, when stuff couldn't get fixed, they'd send it back to my department and I would fix it. They didn't know, didn't want to know how it was fixed. They just wanted to make sure that it was fixed and it wasn't going to happen again. So I was the rigger because I had to re-engineer a lot of things to make them work, or for like customer satisfaction stuff, noises, glitches, stuff like that. I would have to kind of re-engineer rigging, the rigger. Paige said, yes, so you know who did it. Like I said, I still haven't fixed that. She goes, that's okay.
At long as it's working. That's how it's called in Thailand. It's working.
Yeah, that's Thai style.
That's Thai style, yeah.
So I'm almost there. Well, guys, that's it. Working on a video. Gonna bring you guys along for the next trip. I just wanted to share all that with you. Sometimes I have a little bit too much obligation, I think, on my YouTube. I've got to go through the comments so stuff doesn't get... I'm kind of obligated to do that through YouTube. Like, I'm responsible for whatever content comes through. So like if you share links or say certain words, it never gets shown up unless I approve it. So a lot of that doesn't get through, but sometimes stuff does. So I've got to kind of monitor that. And sometimes I'm a little short when I'm making, because I've gone through all this mess of derogatory crap, and you might just be at the at the end of the kick, you know, that I'm ready to punt, and you're at the end, and you get the punishment from that. So you know, sometimes I'll just say, hey, you know what, if you don't like it, you can just go watch something else. It doesn't really matter to me. And a lot of times that's offensive, maybe offensive to see that. You don't really know where it's coming from. But for me, it's like, I don't know, I've never been the type of person, and I think most people on the planet, which most people don't even make comments on YouTube, would never just feel like they have to express their discomforts to somebody. Because really, nobody gives a shit. Really, I don't even know why you're even telling them. You know, just... You know, maybe I had a bad day. Maybe tomorrow's video will be a little bit better. Maybe the content that I'm playing today isn't something that you care for. Just move along. Just wait till the next video or unsubscribe. You know, if you do, or if you're so sensitive and you unsubscribe, I always say, well, it was bound to happen eventually anyway. Okay, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect me. It really only affects you. And you're limited to a lot of things in your life if you're sensitive to certain things, you know? It only affects you. So if I'm a little short to people on there, you know, I don't know. I could say I apologize, but it wouldn't really, I'm really not. So I really don't care. I know that's a shitty attitude to have. That is the way it is. Let me back up. I don't care about people that are negative in my life, you know. Hopefully I can change their mind and let them see things from a different perspective. A lot of people are open-minded. The very few people are, those are the ones that are complaining. They're pretty shallow. A lot of them are insecure with their own life, and a lot of them are hypocritical. You know, they expect things to be a certain way to benefit them, but they don't really care about the other people. They claim to be all mighty this and that, but it's always usually just one-sided, and it's obvious to see. So I get a little short sometimes. This was a long-winded video. I apologize. There I go, apologize. Really, I sincerely am apologizing for my rambling. Yeah. I hope you stick with us. There'll be good days, there'll be bad days. It's everyday life in Thailand. I think it's important to show this to people because they feel comfortable about getting off of that platform that they've had to do their entire life to impress people that do not give a shit about them or their well-being or whatever. When you drop dead, you're gonna have to be replaced. You'll be inconvenienced because of that. Just enjoy the videos. Hopefully you feel comfortable, you know, from what I show to be able to make the leap and do something on your own. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to me. Hey, if you feel like subscribing, do it. If not, don't. If you feel like, oh, screw you, don't leave a message, just go. And while you're at it, click the not interested tab when my videos come up, and they just won't come up anymore. We can all live happily ever after. And I hope you find everything joyful and what makes you comfortable and the remainder of your limited expectation life. I've said enough. Bye.